Have you ever walked alone through a dense forest and felt a chill that doesn't come from the wind? Over the years, thousands of people have entered America's national forests, but over 400 cases remain unsolved, people who vanished without a trace. Some were seasoned hikers, others casual campers, and some entire families. In every case, something feels wrong. Trails are abandoned mid-step, belongings are left behind in strange ways, and often there are signs of struggle, but no answers. Some vanish near well-traveled paths, others deep in isolated wilderness, but in every case, the outcome is the same: disappearance and silence. What makes these disappearances even more disturbing is what investigators sometimes find. Torn clothing, backpacks open as if the person simply vanished into thin air, shoes left neatly on trails. In a few cases, items are found far from where they should be, as though someone or something has moved them deliberately. There are reports of footprints that don't match any known size or shape, strange marks on trees, and even evidence that suggests people were being watched before they disappeared. Survivors from near-miss incidents tell similar stories: a feeling of being followed, whispers among the trees, shadows flitting just beyond vision. Some claim they couldn't hear their own footsteps, that the usual forest sounds, birds, rustling leaves, suddenly stopped. Certain areas of these forests are called silent zones. In these zones, electronics fail. Phones die, GPS trackers go haywire, and compasses spin in circles. Hikers report feeling disoriented even when they are on well-marked trails. The atmosphere becomes heavy, almost oppressive, and the forest seems alive. Trees seem to shift, paths twist in ways that defy memory, and fog often appears even on the clearest days. Locals whisper that these areas are not entirely natural, that some ancient force or human experiment may be at play. One particularly chilling aspect is the discovery of strange clothing. In some cases, shirts, jackets, or shoes are found in places they could never have been by accident. Sometimes they are arranged neatly, folded, or tied to trees. In a few rare cases, clothing is found several miles from where the person disappeared. Experts call it inexplicable. Survivors of near disappearances describe an eerie calm just before people vanish, as if the forest itself holds them still, waiting for the moment to pull them in. Some hikers report glimpsing figures in the distance, standing motionless between trees, only to vanish when approached. Despite the number of disappearances, the government keeps many reports secret. Some documents have been declassified but are heavily redacted. They hint at restricted zones, areas under surveillance, and investigations that never reach the public. Rangers who have worked in these forests for decades admit they have seen strange phenomena, unexplained lights, patterns in the undergrowth, and areas where animals refuse to go. Some researchers theorize that certain sections of these forests may have environmental anomalies or electromagnetic disturbances that affect humans, while others suggest something far darker: abductions or experimental activity. Nightfall brings an entirely different dimension to these forests. Mist rolls through the trees like ghostly fingers, and familiar paths vanish in the fog. Shadows stretch and warp in ways that defy reason. Every snap of a twig sounds amplified, every rustle of leaves feels like footsteps following closely behind. Hikers who return from these areas sometimes report dreams of being pulled back into the forest, as if it continues to haunt them even in safety. The silence is absolute, broken only by occasional distant noises that have no source. Some hikers have described hearing faint, indistinct cries or whispers that echo for no apparent reason. Others report seeing glowing eyes or shadowy figures at the edge of the trail, disappearing when they blink or turn. Some of the most unsettling accounts come from people who survived encounters near disappearance sites. They describe hearing whispers that sound human but carry no words. Others say they saw figures standing motionless between the trees, vanishing when approached. Animals behave strangely in these areas. Deer refuse to cross certain trails, birds disappear, and even insects seem to avoid some zones. Everything points to a force in the forest that defies explanation, a presence that watches, waits, and sometimes takes. Even abandoned campsites tell stories. Tents are found ripped open, belongings strewn as if someone left in a hurry, but with no signs of struggle or tracks leading away. Food remains untouched, fires are unextinguished, and items are sometimes placed in patterns that suggest intention. Investigators call these signature anomalies, moments where the forest seems to be leaving a message or a warning. Families of the missing often report that investigators show unusual reluctance to share details, citing national security or ongoing investigation. Some of the missing have left behind clues that seem almost deliberate. A notebook open to a page with scribbled numbers, a backpack zipped halfway shut, a trail of small objects leading into the woods ending abruptly. These fragments are haunting because they are real, tangible, and yet they never lead to answers. In some rare cases, search dogs refuse to follow scents past certain points, stopping suddenly as if sensing something humans cannot. And yet, curiosity continues to draw people in. Hikers, thrill seekers, paranormal investigators, and researchers venture into these forests, sometimes returning with eerie stories, sometimes not returning at all. The forests remain beautiful, vast, and mesmerizing, but that beauty masks danger. Every trail could be the last someone walks. Every rustle in the leaves could be a warning or something more. The deeper you go, the more you realize that the forest does not belong entirely to humans. It has its own rules, its own guardians, and its own dark history. We may never know exactly what happens in these forests. Perhaps they are home to unseen predators, or perhaps forces beyond our understanding manipulate reality itself. What remains undeniable is that hundreds of lives have vanished, leaving only fragments behind: torn clothing, scattered personal items, strange footprints, and the silent, haunting questions that never fade. The forests have kept their secrets for centuries, and it seems likely they will continue to do so. So, if you ever find yourself walking alone through the trees, listen closely to the sounds around you. Notice the shadows, the patterns in the leaves, the sudden cold spots that seem to appear out of nowhere. Stay aware of your surroundings, but know this: in these forests, no one is ever truly alone, and some who enter may never leave. The mystery is alive, it is patient, and it is waiting. Every branch, every fog-covered path, every faint echo could be a signal that the forest is watching. And sometimes the forest doesn't just watch, it takes.